What's up, guys? Welcome to my life behind the mic. Today I'm back with another video, and I'm just gonna be talking to you guys. I'm outside right now with my kids, as you can see, daughter, my son, and we're just hanging out. Today's topic or subject I wanted to talk about kind of surrounds what I'm doing right now. So we're gonna be talking about when you realize it's time to leave the nest. I will start by just reflecting on my journey of getting out of the nest and you know how it went for me. So actually, let's take a little walk for the rest of this video, guys. All right, that's better now that we're actually walking. Anyways, so I was about 25, maybe 24, turning 25, when I realized it was time to get out of the nest. Now, what I mean by that, for me personally, I was still in my hometown. I was still showing up to every family function. I was still, hanging out with the same friends and doing the same things that I was doing previously from around the time I was 18. So I didn't notice how much that was hindering my growth until I got out of the nest. So what I initially did to get out of the nest was I said, you know what? I'm gonna separate myself from my family. I'm gonna separate myself from my friends and work on the nest that I'm building myself. So what I mean by the nest that I'm building, everybody has their own specific things they have within their nest, whether it be their spouse, their kids, their teachers, whoever you're building with around the time when you decide to leave your nest. For me, it was my spouse and my kids. So I was working on building our family nest. So the first thing I did was decided to make the decision to separate. Now, a lot of times when people try to leave their nest, it comes with a lot of things. It comes with a lot of friction from the people whose nest you're already in. It comes with a lot of misunderstanding. It comes with a lot of trials and tribulations, I'll say, because you're building a new nest. Like, this is your first time going out and trying to find the first twig that you need to build your nest, and you may not know the right places to look. You may not know exactly what tree to put it on or what branch to put it on so that it doesn't fall to the ground, but it's time for you to go find the twig. So for me, finding a twig, like I said, was separation, and my separation came with a lot of friction. Now for me, some signs that it was time for me to leave the nest were it was just a bunch of, between family and friends, there was just a bunch of friction happening. And even myself, there was a bunch of friction happening that was just seemingly coming out of nowhere. And it's almost like it's inevitable, right? So when you're in a space for too long and you've been in that space, this is one thing I've learned on my journey, living with other people, right? So other people have built their nest, and when you've been in their nest too long, it starts to get weird or get uncomfortable because, ultimately they have other people coming in and out of their nest as well, and it's just really uncomfortable. So the longer you stay in the nest, the more uncomfortable it gets for you specifically. And it does get uncomfortable for other people, but I think the person it gets the most uncomfortable for would be you. Like, you're not going to benefit from staying in that nest for too long. You're going to be pushed out if you don't get yourself out in time or when it's the right time. Another thing is you might feel stuck. Like, you genuinely might feel like, I don't know what's going on here. Like, for me, I feel like that was the beginning of me learning and realizing that I needed to get out of the nest, when I started feeling stuck or like stagnant, or like, what am I doing? What's going on here? Like, something weird is happening, or nothing's happening at all, and I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like, for me personally, like I said, or maybe not have set. But for me personally, like, I think the start of mine was 23, and then it led up to 25 where I actually decided to make the decision to leave the nest. So 23, started feeling stagnant, started feeling weird, didn't know what was going on, and then that led me to going to California, spent out about a year there, and then 24 happened, and 25, oh, I need to make the decision to leave the nest now because this is what's stopping me. So yeah, when you start to feel stagnant, or when you start to feel like you can't grow anymore, that's a sign that you need to leave the nest. Now, what you do when you leave the nest is totally and completely up to you. Whether you want to travel the world to see different places, whether you want to switch your job, whether you want to study, whether you want to start your own family, whether it is whatever it is that you want to do, as long as you feel growth out of it, that's what matters the most. That's where you'll start realizing, I'm building my nest. And then that is your foundation to build the nest off of. Or, yeah, that's exactly what it is. So from there, you continue along your journey. And then, you may start finding, okay, my nest is starting to get a bit small. Maybe I need to expand it. It's just different things you can do once you realize, oh, I built this nest, now what? So now you can start making expansions, tweaking it, and just doing different things with the nest. I feel like a lot of my generation gets stagnant about leaving the nest because they don't have the money, or they say they don't have the money. They say they don't have the resources, and they say they don't have the education. But I think the best teacher is experience. Like, you get all of those things along the way. As you start building your nest, you'll get all of the education you need to build your nest. I don't think anybody can prepare you to build your own nest. I think it's something, like I said in the beginning, that you have to make the decision for yourself to do. Because if you don't, you're never going to build the nest. You're going to expect somebody to build it for you, which in return ultimately isn't your nest. It's somebody else's nest. You're just staying there. And that gets uncomfortable. So you don't want to do that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to speak on this video, though. Other than that, I'm out here taking a walk. Been very anxious, like I've said in my previous video about me having anxiety. It's like so time consuming and annoying, but I like doing these videos because it gets me back on track, man. It gives me time to reflect and talk to whoever I'm talking to, whether it be myself or whoever's watching this on the other side of the screen. So yeah, I'm gonna be out here with my kids playing, and we'll be back again with another video. Stay tuned. Later.